Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to Gruesom's Garage. It's been a bit since I made a product video, and I wanted to make one to, actually I haven't made content in a while, so I wanted to get some content out there to my subscribers, and hopefully people that will subscribe in the future. And if you're one of those, please hit the like and subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it. What I want to do today is I bought a year and a half ago this Triumph GT6. GT6, nice little sports car. Inline 6 engine, has a canister oil filter. Nothing against canister oil filters. I mean, a lot of your old cars did. The first small block Chevys had canister oil filters. I got two modern cars out there, a Ford F-150 and a Jeep Wrangler that have canister filters. But I wanted a spin-on filter on this car. I wanted one with a check valve, so I started looking at options. What's out there right now is primarily made for a TR6, which stands to reason. They made a bunch more TR6s than they did Triumph GT6s. So the thing with the GT6 is the hood's a little different. The TR6 has a more conventional opening hood, and the steering shaft of the GT6 runs pretty close to the area where the oil filter is. So a lot of oil filter adapters aren't practical. And you can use the one that's designed for the TR6, it's angled. The main issue with that is you have to run a smaller oil filter. And I've heard of guys running lawn tractor oil filters. I'm not running a lawn tractor oil filter in my car, sorry. So I looked at other options. Triumph Experience message board's a great place to look. And I came up with a solution there. And it's from JS Performance Motoring. And Jason is a great guy to deal with. And this is a quality piece. I'll show it to the viewers. The difference with this oil filter is this is made to go on a GT6. It's made so you can clock the oil filter, so it clears the shaft. And I got my spin-on oil filter here. It's not the biggest filter in the world, but it's standard. I mean, what you expect on a modern car. I believe my 910, I think maybe my Ford Ranger, one of my Ford products I've had over the years, and I've had many Ford products use this oil filter. I would have to look at notes and stuff to verify, but I've had that on a couple cars, and that's what I want to do. So we're going to do that today. I'm going to show you how to remove the canister and install this outfit. I will have a link to Jason's webpage on there, so if you want this product, or he's coming up with one that has fittings for remote oil cooler, which for people that in performance applications or racing would be a great idea. So let's get on with the job at hand. Okay, now we're looking right here. This is the oil canister on the engine that we're going to be replacing. This piece of all thread here, I just got this here. I have a steering column out of the car. And to simulate the steering column, so I make sure the filter clears it, I just stuck this piece of all thread here into the coupler down here and up through the hole in the firewall, just so we have a rough idea of where it's supposed to go. So I'm not going to put the steering column in at a later date and it hits the oil filter. That would be bad. So for right now, just get this right out of the way. Kind of gives you an idea though how tight of a fit that is. I mean, you figure this motor is originally designed for a right-hand drive car, and this is something that right here, this fitting's partially stripped where the bolt that holds it on. So I'm gonna have to tap that on. That's what we call in the British car culture the dreaded previous owner. Okay, luckily it's not on very tight. Oh man. Okay, I want to get something on there so I'm not getting oil all over everything. I got the oil drained out of the engine. Unfortunately, since I couldn't run the engine, what I did was I put an oil pan heater on there to get the oil so it was warm enough to flow out of the engine freely. Do what you got to do. Really didn't want to try to start it up on the lift. Oh, let's see. That's a long bolt. There we go. And there's your cartridge oil filter. As you can see, I'm going to let that drain out for a little bit. I'm going to shut the camera down and we'll get right back to it in a few minutes. Okay, let's get started on this job. I got the oil filter housing area cleaned, so we're good there. Now, there's a groove in here on the adapter, and you're supposed to fill that with grease. He said engine assembly grease or Vaseline. I just use Vaseline. And you set it on there with no seal. And in that groove, make sure you get the seal. Mine was really stuck in there when I took that old, the seal for the oil canister. Okay, you just want to make sure it's as soon as you feel a little resistance, that's the seal hitting. That's where you want to make a mark. There's an oil galley plug right here. On mine, it's a Welch plug. On some of them, it will be a threaded plug. You want to make a mark at 12 o'clock on the oil filter adapter. And then you want to count the number of turns. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, he said count the partial turns, so I'm going to say 3 3/4. You want to write that down. He gives you instructions, and that's the A reading. Okay, you've got that. He gives you 2 seals with the kit. One seal has a red mark on it, and that's the seal you want to try first. And lubricate the seal with engine oil. Doesn't really want to go in there very well, but seal's just slightly smaller. Of course, it's cold in this garage, so that might be part of it too. It's not very pliable. Okay, make sure the seal's seated in there. Okay, now it's in your groove. Now you want to take the adapter, wipe the oil off my hands. Put the adapter back on. Okay, get it hand tight. And then you're going to take a torque wrench. You're going to torque the adapter to 25 foot-pounds. Okay, 25 foot-pounds. Now, my mark is at roughly the 6 o'clock position. please don't use a torque wrench to break loose the fasteners. I worked with a guy one time, I saw him do that, and I said, hey, look, you're not supposed to use a torque wrench to break loose a fastener. It's not what it's designed to do. He goes, oh, well, why they got reverse on it? I go, well, you idiot, it's because they have left-hand and right-hand threads. He didn't like that. He wanted to turn me into the boss for calling him an idiot, but the shoe fit. So just go grab a ratchet, breaker bar, whatever, and break it loose that way. Okay. I want to make sure we take this measurement too. Okay, that is 1 turn, 2 turns, 3 turns, 4 turns. Okay, I'm going to call that, maybe 4 3/8. Was it a little bit over a quarter? So we want to write that measurement down. 4 3/8. Okay. Now the reason we're writing these measurements down is if the measurement B is larger than A, the seals are correct and you may continue. So my measurement B is 4 3/8. My measurement A was 3 3/4. So that seal should work. There's another seal here, it's an alternate seal. If it doesn't work, you're supposed to try that, the same procedure, torquing it to 25 foot-pounds. And if that doesn't work, then you gotta contact Jason for an alternative. I think what may happen is sometimes these get machined or something, and I think that's where the problem comes in, because you're decreasing this distance between the seal and the face. So, I mean, these blocks, I mean, these cars are coming up on 60 years old, so you don't know what's been done over the years. So, we're good. Okay, let's see what the next steps are. Okay, the next step is to adjust the clock position. So this seal was here, roughly. I don't want it there. I want to get it a little, maybe a little more here. So there's a couple things I could do here. Installations typically work best for the filter located between the 4 and 6 o'clock positions to clear the steering shaft, which I have a steering shaft here, or actually a piece of all thread, but since my steering shaft isn't in this car, snap it into the coupler. That's roughly where my steering shaft is. So, right there, that filter would be kind of close to that. So, okay. Now, he said to remove the mark, install the adapter on the engine, including the inner and outer seal, torque to 20 foot-pounds, and no filter attachment. The installation torque of the adapter can be slightly increased up to 35 foot-pounds to adjust the position. Now, if that doesn't work, this screw here is slotted, and you can back it off, and that will change the counterclockwise the orientation of the filter housing. So in this situation, I'm close enough. I think if I get this to 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock, right around there, I'm pretty sure I've got enough room for that filter. So, that right roughly is where the shaft is going to be. And we'll verify that once I get the get it torqued into place. Yeah, I was going to put the steering column back in the car, but I thought it was easier to do this without it. Plus, it's kind of tough with it up on the lift to work on it. Just verify again that your seal is not twisted. Verify this one is not twisted. I'm going to wipe off my mark. He says it won't hurt the anodization, and I believe it won't. A little prep saw there. Marks off it. There we go. I guess I'd hand tight again, then we'll put the torque wrench onto her. 25 was close. I'm going to try it at 30 to see where we got. He said I'd go up to 35. I really don't like to mess with that if I don't have to. That right there, my friends, is 30 foot-pounds. Let's see what that does for us, where that ends up with the orientation. Whew. I think I'm going to have to go to 35. I really didn't want to do that. So I don't know how much that seal takes. Let's try it. Whew. That's close. The only way we're going to have to do this is I'm going to have to spin the filter on, put the rod in, and see what we got. All the way on, just not going to tighten it, I'm just going to snug it so it's wipe off the oil I got there on the seal. Probably should have waited till actual installation before I got to that, but oh well, sometimes you jump the gun. All right. A little close. That steering shaft diameter is a little thicker than that. I think it'll be okay there. I got new bushings in the steering column and stuff, so it's roughly the shaft. I'm looking at it right now. Shaft diameter looks maybe about 3/4 of an inch diameter. This is 5/16 diameter, so just say roughly the 3/4 will be about that. So I think we're good. So I obviously can't start the car up right this moment, but I will start the car up, and if there's any leaks I will make a follow-up video. I don't foresee there being any leaks. So once again, it's JS Performance Motoring. Jason is the guy's name. I will put a link in the description of the video. If you have a TR6 or a GT6 and looking for an oil filter adapter, please consider this one. I think it's a good quality product. And like I said, he is making one with an oil cooler adapter hookup on here. So you can run an oil cooler with the filter adapter. God bless and have a great day.